Well, alright, guys. Now, you may have heard of Locked in the Farmhouse, alright? And you may have heard of,
So at this point, I think I've attempted like 4 or 5 different locked-in challenges on Black Ops 2. And the gist of the challenge is that I cheat myself into one room, and I can only use whatever is available in that room. Typically I would choose a location that has like a perk somewhere in the room, or like a gun wall, and if it's on buried, then I'll go ahead and like make use of one of the buildable tables. And I just feel like people are going to hate the fact that I get to choose the gun I want to use, and I can like use the buildable. So for this challenge, I wanted to push myself a little bit further. I picked a room that had essentially nothing within it, and that's the general store. Most players probably recognize this as the part room. Usually you see like the experienced players go in here to like grab parts to build something, where like the lesser skilled players just go in there to grab the gun that's inside the locker. But I feel like beyond that, like the room is largely overlooked. It's got nothing, right? It's just a gun locker. So for this challenge, that's the only resource that I have available. So going ahead and looking at Wave 5, the strategy really is pretty simple. I didn't bring a pack-a-punch weapon just because I wanted to see if like this challenge was even doable, so I just put like a wall gun in there. But I will say, like, one important rule I have about this challenge is whatever gun I pull out of the gun locker, I have to obtain legitimately. So every time I want to redo this challenge, I have to go then prep a new gun. So I gotta go like run around and pack a punch and go through the maze. It's just terrible. Like the whole setting up process takes like a good 5 to 10 minutes every time. But after that Wave 5, I decided that I would actually give this like a legitimate try. So let's go get some prep done in a new game.
There's a hammer, Nails! Keep it safe for me. Okay, safe?
So starting on the next game, I decided that I would try to do something a little different. Now, just because it's a locked-in challenge doesn't necessarily mean I can't open the doors. It's just not a good idea, because then that like makes more space for the zombies to come in from. So my thought process with this game was that there were so many zombies coming in from the upstairs, and there was no reason to be in the back room anyway, so I'll just go ahead and open up the back room, and hopefully that'll like even out the amount of zombies that are coming after me. Now looking a bit later at that game, there's just like nothing super concise when it comes to like what I'm trying to do. I do have permajug in this run, so I am able to take multiple hits, but without actual jug, you're just so weak in here. And I do end up dying from just running upstairs, which is another dead end. Not only did I die, but I also ran out of the room, so I wasn't very locked in that run. So I guess it's a double L there. I still really like the idea of like relieving some of the pressure in the room by opening up another door. So for this game, I decided to open up the top door, which ended up working really well. The only issue though is that I cannot stay up in that back room for the life of me. So going ahead and jumping into the next game, I do have that door opened up, and I've made a point to just not go up there anymore. The only real space that you can stay inside of is like this downstairs room, so that's exactly what I do. I'm just staying super vigilant about where these zombies are at and making sure I keep my distance. Having to train in such a tight area is just something I haven't had to experience before. It almost reminds me of 𝚆𝙾𝚁𝙻𝙳𝙳𝙳, but it's like harder than that. But yeah, Wave 5 goes down without much of a problem. At this point, I'm still not using my gun yet. I want to practice running circles in here and actually getting the zombies into a big group. I'm just trying to use the gun in the locker as little as possible, which does come to bite me in the ass. Wave 6, I go down, I'm doing my little train thing, and I just lose it. Jumping into Wave 6 on the next game, I'm doing pretty much the same thing, although at this point I've learned that you can PhD flopper, not from the top of the stairs, but from the bottom of the stairs and into this little dip in the floor. I'm not very good at it at this point. This definitely took a lot of practice to get consistent with, but because of where I place myself in the middle of the room, I can essentially kill all the zombies in the building if I landed at the right angle. I also started utilizing my grenades a lot more. I hadn't really thought about it, but the PhD flopper permaperk does give me protection from my own grenades, and I have found that turning some of the zombies into crawlers does help me get around the room a little better because they're sort of stationary and I can plan for where they're going to be at my next time going around. But clearly, I was going nowhere with this challenge. If the goal is to get to wave 15, I was going to need some help. So I call upon my friend, Mr. @crucifythekids.
Where are you, sir?
Whoa. I'm in here, buddy. You see me in the window? Who's that doggy in the window? What do you have in your locker? Nothing?
Nothing. Nada.
I'm gonna pull the yachty out, bro. I'm gonna give you 40 bands for making it out of prison. Quit grabbing it, bro. I have to keep fucking anything for you to do in there. Oh, you don't want that, bro.
The DPS is crazy, bro.
Cool, bro. Cool. A little bit of prep. You're smacking ass out there. You're doing good.
Oh, this is the method.
If I sit all the way back here against the wall, I really don't get any zombies, so I can just chill back here. Oh, max ammo.
That's a max ammo.
Grab
Get that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, they're
They
fucking.
go nuts. They go nuts, bro. Careful.
Oh, it's getting nasty in here, bro. It's getting sticky. Help.
I'm helping.
Oh, fuck.
I got you.
Be careful.
Bro.
Oh, fuck.
Back here. Oh, nuke.
Oh,
Oh, amazing.
I've been trying to conserve ammo, but I think I need to start spending it.
My issue is like, do I spend my fucking ammo because this is the most intense room, or do I save it because like I don't know when I'm gonna get ammo next? Normally when it comes to rating these challenges, I usually save that for the end. There wasn't a really great way to fit that into the outro, so I'm gonna go ahead and rate this challenge now. Locked in the General Store is probably one of my favorite challenges I've ever done. Now over the years, the maps have gotten a lot more complicated in zombies, and I've also gotten a lot better. And you sort of lose that feeling of just being trapped in a room with a bunch of zombies and you're just not good at it and there's really no escape. This challenge really brought back a lot of those fond memories. Locked in the General Store really made me feel like it was 2012 again, and I was sitting in Kino with just absolutely nothing at my disposal to keep back the hordes of zombies. I guess, like, to me, that's what zombies is about. Zombies is about the feeling of being trapped and not really overcomplicating it too much. So for me, this is an easy S tier. The only thing I don't really like about the challenge is it does require quite a lot of prep because I do need a pack-a-punched weapon in the locker to actually go to a decent round. But I'm not going to count that against the challenge, because at any one point in zombies, I will have a pack-a-punched gun in the locker. So whenever I want to return to this challenge, I'm not going to actually have to prep anything to do so. Deciding whether or not this was better than the Locked in the Bar challenge was a really tough call to make, but I think ultimately, it's just not as fun as being locked in the bar. The bar has a lot more freedom to run around, and I do appreciate that. I definitely plan to retry this challenge, but I don't think I'm ever going to get past wave 20 solo. I just don't think it's possible.
You're good.
Watch out
Are
behind
you?
Watch out behind you.
You're good. It's kind of high intensity. Hold on. I'm gonna have to log in.
Fuck.
No. Trust me. Come up here. Trust me. Okay. I stand right here in this doorway like this, and I get to shoot both of these doors, and you shoot the stairs, and we hold it like this. Trust.
But I could hit my flop, and then you hit your flop. I feel like that's got to be just about everything. Watch out, bro.
Oh fuck.
Stay away from my friend. It's all the way I put myself in front of you, bro. Fuck.
I'll block it again.
Reviving is fucking difficult. They keep... Yep, we're done. After that play session with Crucify, I decided to try something a little bit different. I wanted to test to see if any of the wall weapons would be good inside the General Store. So I decided to try out the Skull Crusher. Now the Skull Crusher isn't very high in damage, but I figured that the damage wouldn't really be much of an issue because I'm only trying to get to wave 15. And also it comes with a grenade launcher that has quite a big blast radius, so I figured that in here such a big blast radius would just about nuke all the zombies. And that just didn't really happen. I have a long list of gripes with the Skull Crusher, and the low damage surprisingly did actually play a part. I mean, I was not even on wave 10 yet, and the launcher just wasn't killing anything, and the gun itself doesn't do enough damage to compensate for that. So after that failure, I decided to try this out on stream. I don't have any big plans to stream regularly on this channel, but if you do see me go live, feel free to come in and say hi. If there's ever like a specific challenge that you think would be fun to watch live, you're more than welcome to let me know, and I'll look into making a point that I stream that. When it came to the drops that I found useful, I would say the biggest one is probably going to be insta-kill. It's really tough to pick between insta-kill and max ammo, just because they kind of do the same thing. They allow me to get kills without worrying about how much reserve ammo I'm using up, so I would say that they're just about even here. Also, insta-kill allows me to revive my teammates a lot easier. This isn't really something that I bring up very often, just because I'm never really playing with someone else. But during insta-kill, even if someone goes down with just the basic 1911 in their hand, that effectively becomes like a hand cannon. So I'm able to go around and revive whoever needs to be revived, and they can do a pretty good job at watching my back. Right below insta-kill, I'll go ahead and put max ammo for obvious reasons. We only have access to one gun with some power, and then below that is going to be the nuke. I feel like I voice this opinion on every single video I make, but the fatal flaw with the nuke is that it was made for Noctur and Toten, where killing all the zombies effectively ends the round. Ever since World at War, all the nuke has done is kill the current wave of zombies, which can either end the round if you're right at the tail end, or it will cause 24 more zombies to respawn all at once. Keep in mind, I'm playing with someone else, so that cap actually goes up to 28. So at any one time, there are 28 zombies trying to get into this room. And then at the very bottom, I'll go ahead and place double points. There is nothing in this room to buy. The only thing you can spend your points on in this challenge are opening up any doors that you feel as though you want the zombies to go through, and that only costs 750 points. You start with 500 points, so you only have to kill like 2 or 3 zombies to get that amount. So it's not like a double points ever really comes in handy. I'm going to go ahead and add a note, and that is, you're probably going to pick up every drop regardless, because the room is so tiny that if you like refuse to pick up a drop, it would cut off a whole section of the room that's probably super useful to your survival. Whether or not I like a nuke is besides the point. If there's a nuke in my way and there's 28 zombies behind me, I'm just going to grab the nuke. I'm not going to worry about what sort of effect it's going to have on me later. So all these placements as to what drop is better than what, I don't know. It kind of just doesn't matter, right? Because I'm going to pick up all the drops regardless. So I was doing my thing on the stream solo, and then Crucify ended up catching a little bit of it, and he wanted to play with me. So the rest of this video is going to be me and Crucify playing. Hopefully it's not spoiling too much to say that me and Crucify end up getting my personal best, so the entirety of the video is just going to be me and him. Wave 10 is really easy. There's 2 of us in here. One of us has a pack-a-punched hammer, the other one has the pack-a-punched Remington handgun. It's essentially like a reskin of the Python, except it's a bit more consistent. The pistol allows me to run around the room at next to full speed, while also doing sniper rifle damage. So when you mix in Crucify either camping at the top of the stairs, or PhD flopping down below, then my job is really just to shoot any stragglers that he hasn't been able to blow up. Also, this is probably getting into the nitty-gritty of stats that maybe I don't even need to speak on, but the pistol has a really short raise time. That's how quickly you're able to actually pull the gun up when you're swapping weapons, or when I'm reviving someone. You can revive someone, and you can hit the button to swap weapons, and that allows you to pull your gun up. Now with a pistol, I pull my gun up in like a fraction of a second. So if there's a zombie in my face while I'm reviving Crucify, then I can switch to my pistol really fast and beam the zombie as I'm reviving. Ammo does not known it.
That was good.
I was like mentally prepared for that. I was like, he's gonna go down and I'm gonna have to immediately fucking pull some gangster shit out. Now, Wave 12 is also not that big of a deal. At this point, Crucify is doing most of the killing. He's gotten into this groove where he's PhD flopping like, I would say once every 2 or 3 seconds, and that's keeping a lot of the zombies out of the room. When you're playing this challenge solo, you oftentimes don't really have any time to recover if one of your PhD flops fail, but because there's 2 of us, then he can sort of just sit there in peace and flop all he wants, because if he ever does get surrounded or goes down, it's not the end of the game. I can just go pick him up once I'm available. Also, at some point, I earned the Steel Barriers permaperk, which is a really big deal in this challenge. Using steel barriers on the bottom 2 windows while Crucify watches the top one allows us to drastically reduce the amount of zombies that are coming in the room all at once. So like, let's say for example, there's 3 windows in the room, and there's 1 outdoor dirt patch that the zombies come out of that we can't do anything about. That means that the zombies are split into 4 different ways they can come into the room. By keeping 2 of those boarded up most of the time, that halves the amount of zombies that we have to deal with given at any one time. Wave 13 honestly just felt more like Wave 5 or 6 when playing solo. There's just not that many zombies to deal with. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, Crucify kinda carried this whole entire stream. I feel like when I play zombies, I'm pretty scatterbrained, and Crucify can just laser focus in on one task, and that task is just making sure that he's always causing explosions in the room. He's really good at creating an objective that's going to help us succeed, and then just executing that objective over and over again. But you will see we do start to get a little bit more overrun going into Wave 14. I'm trying to manage the downstairs, that way he's not like flopping into a bunch of zombies, but I also need to manage the upstairs as well because he's not able to keep that PhD flop loop going if I've allowed a bunch of zombies to attack him at the top of the stairs. But with that being said, it goes pretty smoothly. I was honestly surprised that we were able to get to Wave 15 in here just because of how tiny this room is. I feel like when you watch a YouTube video, you kind of just zone out. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but like when I watch someone play zombies, I don't think about what they're actually doing. So I really want to stress that if you want to get the full extent of how this felt, you should probably try this yourself. There are ways to break into the general store in vanilla without actually opening up any of the doors, so you may want to try it because the general store is a lot tinier than you would think. But anyway, we did a quick celebration with some shouts out for people that were on the stream at the time, so I'll just go ahead and let that play. But besides that, it's been cool.
We got it.
We got it. Wave 15, this is it. This is all we needed. This is all we needed.
So nasty.
Let's see how long we can go
nasty
now.
girl.
Ryan was there for it. Hold on, I'm gonna scroll the chat. Ryan was there for it. Shouts out the chat. Lily Dilly was in here as well. Shouts out to Miss Dill.
Oh, you're fucking dead.
You fucking blocked my way, bro.
I'm
15,
fat.
we did
I
it.
survived 15 though.
I can't believe it. 15 in there is crazy.
That was fucking tight.